Welcome to Game Closet, folks. Yes, gamers, the days of playing that old Resident Evil 4 game are over because Capcom has produced an updated version for us to all enjoy. Resident Evil 4 Remake is the answer to your survival horror prayers. Are you used to playing that old Resident Evil 4? The muddy graphics, those sickly-looking villagers, and that almost cartoon-like style? Yuck! Now those days are gone forever. Yes, you too can shoot beautifully rendered villagers in the face, then hold your head up high when you see your neighbors. Now your victories and your frustrations are all presented in beautiful HD with photorealistic style. Don't be the last pitiful bastard on your block to get with it. Be like the cool kids on the block and get your copy of Resident Evil 4 Remake today. This survival horror is selling out like Trixie on a New York street corner on a Friday night. Supplies are limited, so call now. Call 666-RE4-EVIL. That's 666-RE4-EVIL. Operators are standing by. For $59.99, you can stop being the stinky kid at school and the embarrassment to your whole block. Time is running out. Pick up that phone and call. We accept Visa, MasterCharge, American Express, and diners. Put that f***ing Discover card away because we don't accept that. Call 666-RE4-EVIL. That's 666-RE4-EVIL. Call now. Leon Kennedy is back in action, and he looks fabulous in Capcom's Resident Evil Remake. His job this time around is to find the president's daughter Ashley Graham, who's gone missing in Spain. While investigating her disappearance, Leon's luck tumbles straight into hell, all because of the insane Los Iluminados cult. No, this is not your father's Resident Evil, and sure, it has the same basic elements as the original, and the sicko purists out there will wave a big middle finger at this game. They're probably all PETA protesters all bent out of shape because the fictional animated satanic demon dogs in the game are being shot by our hero.
Hey, those animated satanic diseased demon dogs have rights too, and you shouldn't be shooting them.
Ugh. Some people, huh? This time around, there is an autosave feature for checkpoints, and the typewriters do not require ink ribbon. The villagers known as the Gondo really don't like solicitors at all. Now look what they do to this poor Amway salesman. I bet you he learned his lesson. So I tried the stealth method, which I'm not too fond of. I sneak up on this infected old woman so she won't report me to the mattress police for ripping off tags before I buy the mattress, but I'm afraid the chainsaw villager isn't too happy that I killed his Aunt Helga. Now I am a reasonable guy, and I try to talk it over with him sensibly. But being the irrational fellow he is, he rearranges my innards without anesthesia. Now, sadly, it did kill Leon, and Dr. Chainsaw sent the bill to my next of kin. I don't know about you, but I don't think Leatherface ever got this angry. So next, I go in guns a-blazing, and I kick ass until the village church bell rings. And I didn't realize I'd arrived just before Sunday Mass, and these sinners all have a come to Leon moment. Have you ever had that feeling that you stumbled in on a family event and you really shouldn't be there and you feel super duper awkward? Sadly, had I arrived just a few minutes earlier, I could have saved that Amway salesman. Oh well. You haven't picked up the phone yet. Listen, Capcom made a beautiful game, but Resident Evil 4 Remake is a grind. Our operators are still waiting for you to call. We have plenty of copies of Resident Evil 4 remaining, so call 666-RE4-EVIL right now. And now for the legal stuff. Resident Evil 4 may cause frustration, exhaustion, diarrhea, high blood pressure, hatred for one's parents, impotence, arousal, desire to listen to Nickelback, alcoholism, aneurysm, botulism, rheumatoid arthritis, and death. Well, it wouldn't be a Resident Evil game without undead, disfigured, bleeding freaks wielding weapons. Capcom has always been very creative with their monsters, and they keep the scary things that haunt you in your nightmares coming. There's no shortage of icky, creepy, crawly, demonic mutants that would all be home at a Jason Voorhees sleepover. These are some serious adversaries, and honestly, unless you're playing this game more casually and slowly, it can get overwhelming and become a real grind. Now, I don't want to remind you, though, above all else, don't shoot the cows. It will piss them off, and they'll come after you. I swear they will. So this big creep, Mendez, shows up, and he's pretty unhappy that he shot his favorite cow. So, to teach me a lesson, he tossed me around like a cheap McDonald's napkin, injected me with a rare strain of Resident Evil syphilis, and then he kidnapped me and Lewis just for kicks. Better watch out, Mendez. My dad is Liam Neeson.
I don't know who you are. If you don't let my daughter go now, I will find you. I will kill you.
Now, speaking of creeps, I love the creepy merchant guy. And how in the hell does he get to every place I'm going before I get there? Now, he's got all the weapons. Why didn't he clear some of the monsters and villagers out before I got there? I would have paid him or even debased myself. Here's another creep. Now, something tells me he doesn't shop at Hollister. Well, at least he's not selfish because he's gonna let me play with his pet Gigante. Hey, I'm sorry, Gigante. I don't have any Mighty Dog or Milk Bones. Now, these things are a pain to kill, but if you keep running and gunning, slashing his white turkey glucka on top of his head, you'll send him back to hell where he came from, or at least back to the streets of San Francisco, whichever's closest. Resident Evil is never short on puzzles and mind teasers to keep your gray matter hopping. You may have to obtain pieces, then backtrack, or read clues in paintings, or two of you may have to work together to solve one. And sometimes they take a few minutes to solve, and this kaleidoscope, it seems familiar. I think I just saw something like this on TV. Is there a queue, Pat?
Sorry, no queue, dumbass.
Resident Evil 4 Remake is a good game, but you'll run out of ammo way too much. And the game cheats not unlike the arcade version of Mortal Kombat. And it should have been 3 chapters shorter. But hey, if I had the choice of playing Resident Evil 2 again, or Resident Evil 4, I would definitely choose Resident Evil 2 Remake. If you still want to buy 4, it's still an excellent game, so call 666 RE4 Evil, or don't! I don't give a damn anymore! Now we come to the reason for Leon to be in Spain with all the monsters and the creeps and the stalker salesman. America's first daughter, Ashley Graham, had been kidnapped while on a Girl Scout cookie selling drive. And instead of sending Liam Neeson,
I will find you. I will kill you.
they send Leon Kennedy. Leon Kennedy, who waltzes into Europe with a BB gun, purchasing weapons from a questionable source.
Welcome.
Instead of having his own arsenal. Okay, what the bloody fuck ever. But just go with it because we're having fun. So you have to escort hot 20-year-old Ashley and keep her safe from harm or kidnapping, or the game is over. Then you know what happens next.
Kill you, kill you, kill you.
But sometimes all I needed was luck, and I could get out of a really hairy situation that would make a grown man coil into a ball on the floor and cry like a little girl.
Stop so precious.
With Resident Evil 4 Remake, sometimes you're a killing machine, and more times than not, Leon dies over and over and over. Why? Because no matter how good you are at reloading, finding assets, upgrading your weapons, this game just frickin' cheats. Period. The hit detection on your character is way too high. There were times I would be getting hit so quickly that I could not get up, press a button, fire a weapon, or even hit the button to open my attaché case. Now, unless Capcom wants to crank out an update to fix that problem. Did it happen all the time? No, but it did happen enough to be highly frustrating. From time to time, you may find that some themes are very familiar or cliched. And don't misunderstand me, there's absolutely nothing wrong with paying homage to films, historical figures, movie stars, or people that you know. Tipping the hat is honoring something or someone as long as nobody is blatantly ripping something else off. Resident Evil 4 Remake is a fun game, and it's a long game, perhaps too long. It is very beautiful, and this remake does take the same basic direction as the original game. It does omit a monster or two from the original, and the plot makes a couple of different twists and turns. As I said before, extreme purists may complain that the game isn't exactly the same. If you want the exact same game, play the original. However, I do have a few minor issues with this remake. Now, as I said previously, it does outstay its welcome, and I think the reason that it feels that way is that although it's a survival horror game, you should be given tools or weapons to fairly survive on standard mode. Survival horror isn't a scavenger hunt. Make it difficult enough on standard mode, but not nearly f***ing impossible. You know, I may have to look for items, but I shouldn't have to choke the Easter Bunny to death just to get the ammo to kill the 5,000 monsters crawling up my ass. There will be those people watching who will comment, sounds like player error to me. Let me remind you, Mr. living in his mommy's basement while molesting the family chihuahua, results are not typical in this game. Things are randomized, and just because you killed a villager and they dropped shotgun shells every time for you, Doesn't mean it happened that way for me.
I got it raw.
Hell, half the time they drop stuff, I got pixie sticks and nude pictures of your mom. And you need to shave her back a little more often. I played Resident Evil on the Xbox Series X. The game did have a few glitches graphically, but that could have been my version or my Series X. But that's par for the course with modern gaming these days. Promised game modes that are canceled after you already paid for the game, top executives leaving the studio in embarrassment over failures, fans leaving the game in droves to play something else because the franchise lost its way. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I'm not talking about Capcom or Resident Evil 4 Remake. That's this game studio. When we've all gotten our fill from this Capcom survival horror buffet, I have to say that I do recommend Resident Evil 4 Remake. But only if you are prepared to take the game a little slower than just consuming it like I tried to do. Your frustrations will be minimal, and you will enjoy the game a lot more. But if you don't heed my warning, you may end up trashing your controller, smashing your console, tossing all the food in your fridge onto your sofa, and waffle stomping it with your bare feet. And when your grandmother tries to stop you, you will give her the finger, then storm out of the house and go into hiding. And when you do that, you know what's next.
I will kill you.
Well, we've come to the end of our... Please order before...
Oh my God!
Somebody call an ambulance.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like Game Closet's videos, hit that like button real quick. Please consider subscribing and sticking around for more videos. There's a ton of fun and funny stuff here for you, so click one of the boxes on screen and I'd be happy to show you more in Dr. Scott's Game Closet.